spilled on the car. And I need to call my husband to tell him about it. Well, this car needs to go get washed. But today I'm wearing this blazer that does not match my pants, but they're both black. The other one is a shimmery black, and this one is, I'd say, a matte black. And I'm not even wearing my coat, so it's going to be an interesting day because I feel like it mismatches, but it matches, you know? I don't know if you know what I mean. But let's go to work. Sun's out? Yeah. I'll do best to take a video tomorrow for you guys to see what I see. But good morning. Let's do what we gotta do. It's a video log. I can't ever do that by the intersection. Let's do it again. It's a video log. Whoa, that's so high for a Monday. I get it. Like, I get that my husband was driving this car because everything feels out of whack. So I gotta fix myself. But anyways, I think because I had straightened my wig out straight, now the little curve that I had created when I was straightening it is getting lost because the hair is just in my eyes, okay? So I keep having to adjust, but okay, that's better. I pulled it back, but my fear with pulling it back is always, what if this thing falls off my head, you know? But I've secured it. I think I've sufficiently secured it on the sides for it not to fall. But good morning, and welcome to my YouTube channel. The name is Gorata.Selaledi. Ever so excited to be here on a beautiful Monday. Feeling grateful to be alive. Feeling grateful to get another chance to try at this life thing. Feeling grateful because I get to live another day, try another day, experience God's mercy another day, experience God's faithfulness another day to shame the devil, another day to shame the enemy of our souls, man. Anyways, how are you feeling? Please drop it in the comment section. My word is gratitude. I think gratitude for the whole week. I might actually after the vlogging later today jam Victoria Orenze's album Gratitude, because we need to rejoice. And I think outside of just the gratitude of being alive and seeing the day, I think there's just a new level of gratitude that I'm feeling in terms of what's about to be released in the spirit. So I'm excited, right? I'm excited, faithfully excited, because it's like I see it, I can smell it in the atmosphere. If you know, you know. But otherwise, welcome, happy Monday. Yesterday my son was turning 10 months. I have been a mommy for 10 months as at yesterday, Sunday. And something I posted on my status was one thing that I am learning from this motherhood journey of 10 months is that we don't need to do much in order to be loved, in order to be provided for, in order to be called worthy by this God, by this Jesus who died for us on the cross, right? And I remember I had a conversation with this other girl at book club. She said, oh my God, what if Jesus comes and I hadn't fulfilled my purpose? And I'm like, but God wouldn't stop you from getting into heaven just because you haven't fulfilled your purpose. And I also said purpose is such a finicky thing because you are also fulfilling it without even knowing. For the fact that I exist in the people that are connected to me, right? The fact that I simply exist around them is fulfilling a purpose within their lives, right? And I think about it from this perspective to say how I interact with them, how I think about them, how I pray about them is fulfilling purpose, right? So over and above the bigger, flashier purpose of achieving the dream, achieving the business, achieving the million, I believe that we are consistently fulfilling our purpose in the lives of the people that are connected to us. And I feel like that's the bigger conversation that you and God will be having concerning your spirit is whether your spirit came and lived out this life thing. In the book by Gary Zukav, it talks about how our spirits come into the world to heal, right? So he uses the word reincarnation, but reincarnation from the perspective of you taking up this body. So I get born into this body to come and heal parts of my soul, not my spirit, parts of my spirit that have been broken, right? So it's a healing journey. So over and above purpose, I think the bigger one would be healing, to say, have you forgiven? Have you let go? Have you found restoration to your soul, right? In terms of the bigger things that could have caused wounds on your soul, right? But yeah, morning thoughts. I am in a little bit of traffic. The time is 7:19, and I don't know why my AC is not warming up the car the way one would think it should. Okay, it was blowing the wrong way, the other way, not the wrong way. But yeah, anyways, yeah. So I think being a mom has really revealed to me that I think in a way we have actually gotten this wrong in terms of I'd say religion overall dictating how we're supposed to relate with God, and I can imagine before the Bible was actually even established, the people who you read about, I'd say the Egyptians, the Israelites, really had the nicer part of history where they got to experience God's love as they were, right? It wasn't very, very performative. I think the only caveat being having to love the Lord with all your heart, because I think I'm looking for my hairbrush. I'm sorry. Oh no, it's not in the bag. I think I took it out. The other day. Okay, it is what it is. Anyways, yeah, but I was saying that the people that we read about in terms of history in the Bible had I'd say the shortest end of the stick, because they got to experience God in his fullness, because he consistently reminded them that, hey, you need to love your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your might, right? And that is the first commandment. Yeah, so anyways, as we step into this new day, today's Monday, so we talk mindset, we talk reset. So I am going to check into our prompt for the day. And if you're new here, I basically take you along in the car wherever I go. And we catch up, right? In terms of lifestyle, I think what I realized, it's been hard for me to actually document from that perspective, because I really go about my day as quick as I can as a mom, and also when I'm at those places, I want to be present. So it becomes very hard. It becomes very hard for me to do a lifestyle vlog. But I was thinking about it though as a way of challenging myself to say, but having this vlog can challenge you to really slow down in a moment. You being able to actually capture that moment can help you slow down. So we might use that as I'd say a learning point for this week. I have a bit of anxiety because I don't have my brush, but I did brush my hair. It's just that when I settle down in that car, it gets a bit messy. But let's get into our prompt, right? If you're only meeting me for the first time, I am a rambler. If you noticed, I rambled through that little moment. But let's look for the hair. Let's look for the prompt. I was gonna say let's look for the hairbrush. I was actually checking the traffic light, and it is indeed turning red. So we can look for our prompt and chit chat for a little while before we get to work. So today's prompt is quite interesting. It says stop setting goals that you secretly secretly resent. Huh? And I don't know, but I thought about the time where I decided, in my folly, I decided that I'll be sitting for my CFA exam. And let me explain the decision-making process. Out of the list of the things that I had wanted to become when I sat down to decide on my degree, financial analyst was one of them, right? And obviously, CFA has the term certified financial analyst in it, so it's like, this is the next best thing to do, right? And also, I think it was also from the perspective of everyone is doing it. Every smart person from finance is doing their CFA. So every smart person from the bachelor's degree in finance is doing their CFA, and this was early on when I had just graduated. Was it the first year? No, it was the second year, right? Because the first year I didn't have enough money to save up for, I think it was around 15,000 to sit for the exam. So the second year when I was working as a bulk teller, I decided I'm going to do the CFA thing, I'm going to pass, and it's going to level up my career. But also, the decision-making process was really premised off the fact that everyone else is doing it. Let me just be honest. I wasn't doing CFA for the love of, yes. I don't know how to describe it, but it wasn't a personal want. It wasn't something I wanted. It was something that I realized everyone else wanted for themselves, but in hindsight I realized I didn't want it for myself. So I think it's one of the decisions. I think that, and also deciding to do my MBA as well, right? It's one of those decisions I resent because because it's I'd say a societal norm that once you've done your degree, once you've started working, you either do a professional degree or you either do your master's. But for me, in terms of that season of my life, I decided, looking at everyone else, to say, I'm behind. People are getting their masters, people are getting their CFA. I need to do something, right? And I think when you do things that are out of alignment, does it feel like it's inside my eyes? Let's do that a little. Yeah, when you do things that are out of alignment, nothing works out for real. I think that's how it's supposed to be, that it's not supposed to work out, so that it actually reminds you that this is not in alignment. And I was thinking the other day, I was like, if I had done what I want, I probably would have done an undergraduate degree that I can do online, possibly in the lines of psychology. Like, I would have a psychology degree by now, finance and psychology, weird combination. But of all the time that I spent, I would have possibly completed my psychology degree versus my master's degree, right? So in thinking about it today, it says stop setting goals that you will resent, that you end up resenting, right? Or that you secretly resent, right? So I'd want to encourage you today to sit down and do a little audit to say, the decisions that I'm making, are they decisions that are aligned to what I personally want, or is it tied to comparison? Is it tied to what I'm seeing other people doing? Is this really what I want, or am I going to catch myself in the blessing or in the thing that you've prayed for, resenting it, or resenting finally arriving? I pray for God to give us wisdom to be able to navigate, I'd say, our goals, because I think it's very important. It's such a I'd say, it's not a booger, but it's a dryness on my nose. Yeah, but what I was going to say is that it's important for us to actually recognize that our goals are tied to our destiny. But in thinking about it, in the fact that if you're doing things that are out of alignment, it's like you take longer to arrive. So I'd want to encourage you to really take time to do the audit so that you save yourself time. Imagine me, time and money. My master's, my CFA, that could have been money that went towards something that would have benefited me now. Like, one thing that I'd want to do if I had the money that I took out for my master's, I'd want to do my, what do you call it, CFPs, like chartered, no, not chartered, it's it is but anyways, ICF, yes, it's International Coaching Federation. I'm not sure if I'm saying correctly, but anyways, they have master certification programs that cost an arm and a leg. And I think had I had a bit of wisdom to sit down and say, but this master's program, how does it fit into the bigger vision, right? And had I done the certification, then I'd be so far in terms of my coaching internationally, because I really want to tap into, I'd say, the international market. But c'est la vie, it is what it is, right? Life played out the way you'd have it. And in the Bible, there's the story of how the Israelites took 40 years around in the wilderness. They took 40 years in the wilderness, and they took longer than they could have had they just been obedient, right? So I think in thinking about obedience from a spiritual perspective and how we set our goals, I think it's very important to actually check yourself before you wreck yourself. And I think the Holy Spirit is kind to actually reveal such things to us, to say, it's not in alignment with where you're going. You gotta slow down, you know. The time is 7:30, so, and I'm about to get to the office, so we're gonna make it in time. But this chakalaka smell this chakalaka smell is anyways, I'm gonna tell my husband to wash the car. But I think that's the conversation. I think I'm thinking about, let's go back to, in thinking about the goals that we set, I think the general resentment will feel like you actually putting off you doing the goal, right? I think there's a sluggishness and there's a slowness when it comes to you accomplishing that goal compared to everything else that you've been up to. Like, look at this. I'm wearing 3 shades of black today, and I don't know how to feel about it. But anyways, there's a bit of sluggishness, there's a bit of fear connected to it, I feel. But the sooner you get to a place where you find alignment in terms of your goals, the quicker it becomes for you to actually start executing. And I think about my channel as well, to then think, you know what, some days I have this thought to kind of just leave and go off the grid and delete everything. And I'd say the wisdom or the wise thought would be, but this is tied to your bigger vision ultimately in terms of monetization, and it's then to kind of keep the faith for the long term, right? So no resentment, but just pure action in terms of me executing and delivering my videos on a day-to-day basis, because I know it's tied to a grand vision in terms of what we're trying to accomplish here as a coach, as a speaker, as a writer, as a thinker, as a child of God. Otherwise, I'm tempted to end my vlog here so that I can jam a little bit of our worship before I get into the office today. I feel in my heart that I need it. Otherwise, I pray for God's favor to locate you and for His grace to sustain you as you live out this new day, as you live out this new week. I plead the blood of Jesus over you, your family. I plead the blood of Jesus over this channel. I pray that may it find its way to the people that need the information. May it find its way to the people that will appreciate the insight. May it find its way to people that will be positively impacted by these videos. And if you've made it all the way here, please let me know. Please let me know what else you'd want to hear my insights on, or just chats, right? I love stories, like just as you see for today's conversation. I shared a story from my own life, so let's have a conversation. Let's chat in the comment section. I'll be so interested to see who will comment. And what I like about YouTube is that this video, I'm gonna ramble, but Anyways, let's chat tomorrow. But what I wanted to say is that this video can trend in the next 10 years and people will start commenting, right? It's a long game thing. But anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. May God's favor locate you and may his grace sustain you today. Let's do this. Look at the sun. A bonjour.